Hello and welcome to Defense Dynamics. I am Danveer Singh, your host from New Delhi. Today we focus on a major leap in India's aerospace self-reliance, the HTT-40 trainer aircraft, an indigenously designed and built platform that will now train the next generation of air warriors. And then India has at home developed military combat parachute system, or the MCPS. What it means and why it is an achievement at global level, we will tell. Also, what it means to our armed forces having developed armed UAV Archer NG, or the next generation. And finally, in my take, I'll leave with the strategic perspective on Pakistan-Afghanistan conflict and its regional fallout. But before that, let's catch up with global defense headlines first. Estonian Minister of Defense Hanno Pevkur and South Korean counterpart Ehe Goaibak signed a defense cooperation agreement in Seoul, South Korea, for Estonia to purchase South Korean K-239 Chenmo multiple rocket launcher. The ministry expects the agreement to result in tens of millions of euros in direct investment in Estonian defense industry. The Latvian Ministry of Defense and National Defense Logistics and Procurement Center signed a 50 million euro or $58 million contract with Dynamite Noble Defense for Scorpion 2 remote mine laying systems. The contract includes 82 plus anti-tank mines and other systems related equipment and training of personnel to operate the systems. South Korea's LIG Next One is developing a combat unmanned ground vehicle, or UGV, armed with a remote controlled weapon station and Rebolt anti-tank guided missile. The company has described its new tracked G-Sword UGV, unveiled at Seoul International Aerospace and Defense Exhibition ADEX 2025, as a concept hybrid electric vehicle fitted with 3-barrel Gatling gun. The Indonesian Navy has received and commissioned the first water-jet propelled variant of country's KCR-60M fast-track craft. The ceremony to induct the vessel was held at Indonesian Navy's Military Sea Lift Command headquarters in Jakarta. The Indonesian Ministry of Defense said in the statement on 27th of October that Beltai is also the first KCR-60M attack craft built by shipbuilder that is not affiliated with Indonesian government. Indian Coast Guard launched 2 advanced fast patrol vessels, ICG ship Ajit and ICG ship Aprajit, at Goa Shipyard Limited. Weighing around 320 tons, these ships are equipped with superior maneuverability and propulsion efficiency, as they come with controllable pitch propellers, the first of their kinds in this class of ships in India. Now let's talk about a story that quite literally takes Indian innovation to new heights, that is 32,000 feet above sea level. In a major milestone for India's indigenous defense capabilities, the Defense Research and Development Organization, the DRDO, has successfully conducted a combat freefall jump using an indigenously developed military combat parachute system, or the MCPS. So what does this mean? Let's decode. The test jump was carried out by an Indian Air Force test jumper from a staggering altitude of 30,000 feet, demonstrating the efficiency, reliability and advanced design of Made in India system. According to the Ministry of Defense, the MCPS, or Military Combat Parachute System, is now the only parachute system in operational use by the Indian Armed Forces that can be deployed above 25,000 feet. A critical advantage in high altitude combat and special operations. developed jointly by ADRDE Agra and DEBEL Bengaluru. The system integrates advanced technical features including a low rate of descent and enhanced steering control, enabling paratroopers to deploy safely, navigate with precision, and land exactly at the point on target. Adding to its technological edge, the MCPS is compatible with India's own NavIC satellite navigation system. This means the system can operate independently of foreign GPS networks, ensuring secure and uninterrupted operations even during hostile conditions. The Defense Ministry says the success of the MCPS will reduce dependence on imported parachute systems, cut maintenance turnaround time, and ensure availability during wartime contingencies. The Defense Minister of India, Mr. Rajnath Singh, hailed the success as a significant milestone for India's indigenous defense capability. DRDO's chairman, Dr. Samir V. Kamath, also congratulated the team, calling it a major step towards self-reliance in aerial delivery systems. Today I am joined by a very special guest, Brigadier Nilesh Bhanot, who is a combat freefaller and a Special Forces officer from 21 Para SF. He is going to explain us what this military combat parachute system is all about. So let's first try and understand the image that is right behind us. What is all there in this image? Can you please explain, Brigadier Bhanot?
Yeah, Danveer. As you can see, this is the military combat parachute system. The main component is of course the canopy, which is clearly deployed and seen here. The next thing is the insulated suit. Because of the extreme minus temperatures at altitudes of 30,000 feet, you require to have insulation. Then above 12,000 feet, when because of lack of oxygen in the air, you require to breathe in pure oxygen. So you see the helmet with the oxygen mask, and it is connected to the oxygen bottles here. Other than this, the helmet has got a night vision device which is mounted.
Yeah,
and that's
I was to just ask, because this image also has a normal parachute and this is the free fall parachute. What is
Correct.
the basic difference between the two?
So that round canopy which you see, that is the standard parachute system which is there for en masse dropping of bodies, military bodies, and the drops take place from approximately 1,000 feet or below. Whereas the canopy which looks like a wing, it's known as the ram air canopy, and this is required in combat free fall roles, and it has got more accuracy, more stealth, it has got much more features.
So Brigadier Nilesh, we were talking about, and in fact you just explained what is a combat free fall parachute, and you also explained the other parachute which is for normal para shooting. So why exactly do you require a combat free fall? What is it all about like?
That's a very good question, and I'm asked this question very often. The normal round canopy, it dates back to the Second World War days with a few modifications, and that is used to drop troops en masse, right? And because you're dropping troops en masse, there are a number of aircrafts which are involved in it, and also you require to drop them quickly, so the altitude is also less.
In fact, if I may interject, a normal para battalion would require how many aircrafts to?
It depends.
Say
depends on which aircraft, but then you require ranging from 50 to 75 aircrafts.
Oh my God!
It's a huge requirement, because it is not just soldiers jumping. You require their combat loads also to be dropped. You require tanks, those BMPs to be dropped.
50 to 70 is the average.
And it could be more also.
It could be more.
Yeah, as per the requirement.
So, as you were saying that the combat free fall.
So that is the standard parachuting. We also drop the heavy loads, that is RT guns, vehicles, BMPs. Those are those small tanks which support the infantry battalion, the para battalion which has been dropped there. So that's why you require a lower altitude and the round canopy. Whereas when you come to the combat free fall system, Now this system is used for two types of jumps. One is the HAHO, that is the high altitude high opening, and HALO, which is high altitude low opening.
Could you just explain a little bit?
Okay. So this canopy, if you notice, it's shaped like a wing. So when it is shaped like a wing, after it opens, it functions like a rigid wing, because the air fills into the cells and it has a glide ratio. So what is a glide ratio? For every 1 feet of drop, it moves forward multiple feet depending on which canopy you are using, and in nil winds. And if you have favorable winds from behind, this can carry you kilometers deep into the enemy's territory.
So roughly, say if you drop at 32,000 feet,
so
how deep can you go?
So it could be anything from about 50 odd kilometers to 75 kilometers, depending upon the fair
50
winds.
to 75 kilometers you can travel
Yes.
with the help of this wing.
Correct.
So that is the advantage. That you
That's the
get.
advantage. Now, depending upon the capability of the canopy, there are some canopies which has a glide ratio of 1:3. That is, it drops for 1 feet and moves forward 3 feet in nil winds.
Okay.
Right? But there are advanced canopies which can have a glide ratio of 1:5 or 1:6. So that's how you
Like the paragliders, it has 1:9.
yes.
Something
so
on that
paraglider is a much larger
Larger
canopy.
wing, yeah.
So this is a smaller canopy, and so that's why. And now with 1:5, with the fair winds, favorable winds, it can carry you
Till wherever.
wherever.
I mean,
yeah,
so-
I mean depending upon the strength of the wind.
So on this video wall, we have got a still image.
Yeah.
This is an American free faller who's jumping, and this is a video wherein again American free faller is jumping. So could you just reorient? You just explained on the DRDO image.
Yeah.
Could you just explain as to what all we can see in this image?
Okay.
As we understand, yeah.
Firstly, I'll just explain to you what is when a military free fall jumper comes out of the aircraft, what all is he, apart from the parachute and the dress which he's wearing and helmet, there are other things. There's a weapon which he's carrying. Also there is the combat load.
he's carrying
now you
that
can see
weapon
the
here.
weapon there
Yeah.
very clearly. What we can't see here is the combat load. The combat load comes between the legs.
Between the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's about 40 to 45 kilos, because you know they are going deep inside the enemy territory.
carrying
they carry
the ration,
any and
ammunition
everything,
and everything.
ration, ammunition, communication, everything which may be required by the soldier there, because these are very small teams.
Yeah.
Okay. What you can see in this photograph is firstly the helmet. Now there is also provision for night vision device here. You wear a protective goggles, and he's got this oxygen system which is connected. This is the navigation radio set you can see here. I assume behind him is the combat load, and on the right side would be the weapon.
Is the weapon
that
like
one.
this, yeah.
And on the side here come the oxygen bottles, which is required after you leave the aircraft.
Okay.
So also because you're jumping at those altitudes, suppose
I'll just like to
Okay.
bring in some personal element into it. You yourself have jumped from what height max?
I have jumped from 30,000.
You have jumped from 30,000. So
Yes.
30,000 when you are getting out of the aircraft, what all happens, and what happened to you in fact?
Okay, as a free faller, one thing which we all look forward to is higher the altitude, the better it is.
Okay.
Because that exhilarating feeling of coming down, when you jump from 30,000, it is almost 2 minutes of free fall that you get.
It's quite a speed.
It is quite a speed, and it is one of the best feelings in the world. There is no better feeling that I have ever experienced.
Wow.
So having said that, it is not all Hollywood story, because it is quite a painful procedure the moment you go above 12,000, because then the oxygen system comes in. Now before you jump out of the aircraft at 30,000, you're wearing your loads. Okay, imagine you got a 45 kilo load between your legs. you're connected to all these oxygen systems and all, and then suppose this oxygen bottle malfunctions in the air the moment you step out of the aircraft, you will black out because there is hardly any oxygen there. So therefore, we have to do pre-breathing of pure oxygen for depending upon the altitude. Like typically if you're jumping from 30,000, I would say about 1.5 hours there are oxygen consoles inside the aircraft, and you take in pure oxygen. So, and you're connected to it, and last moment before jumping out, you switch off the aircraft console and you switch on your oxygen bottles from the parachute, and then you jump. So it is a painful procedure also. It is not all
that Hollywood. Right?
Yes.
So that was Brigadier Nilesh Bhanot explaining the nuances of combat free fall. From the skies over Agra to the future battlefields, India's technological leap with military combat parachute system reflects one message: India's self-reliance is India's new altitude. The Hindustan Turbo Trainer 40 or the HTT-40 is an ab initio trainer aircraft. It is the first step for a young cadet to learn to fly. Designed and developed by the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, it is fully aerobatic, tandem seat turbo trainer which is built to meet the primary training requirements of the Indian Air Force. Right from takeoff to tight turns, it is designed to prepare a rookie pilot for the demanding challenges of world of modern air combat. This week, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited announced a major milestone. The first series production of HTT-40 aircraft with tail number TH4001 successfully completed its maiden flight at HAL's Bengaluru facility. HAL shared the development on its official X handle, saying the first HTT-40 series production aircraft TH4001, which will train the next generation air warriors, took to the skies today. With this, India's indigenous trainer has entered the production phase, ready to replace imported basic trainers in the Indian Air Force fleet. Currently, the Indian Air Force uses Pilatus PC-7 aircraft for basic flying training. After phasing out HAL's HPT-32 Deepak trainers in year 2014. The Indian Air Force requires up to 181 basic trainer aircraft, but currently has only 75 Pilatus PC-7s, with the remaining 106 expected to be the HTT-40s. The HTT-40 is powered by the Honeywell 12B turboprop engine, providing a perfect blend for power and reliability. It comes with modern avionics and a glass cockpit featuring indigenous radio and standby communication systems, VHF omnidirectional range and instrument landing systems, also known as VOR-ILS. It will also have TACAN or the Tactical Air Navigation System, alongside radio altimeter and identification of friend or foe instrument. This aircraft will also have an integrated standby instrument system or the ISIS. Added to that, air-conditioned cockpit, hot refueling, quick pilot changeover and 0-0 ejection seats, making it a truly world-class trainer. Built to FAR-23 standards, the HTT-40 combines safety, agility and economy, exactly what a training aircraft must deliver. So now how will the cockpit of HTT-40 look like? So let's try and understand with the help of this video wall. This cockpit is likely to look like this, with a head-up display and analog and digital gadgets, as you can see in this particular image. Now what all system it will be equipped with? It will have VOR instrument landing system, that is VHF omnidirectional radar and the landing system, basically to land at night or in foggy conditions, bad weather conditions. This is going to be very helpful. Then there is a thing called tactical navigation, the TACAN. So this is there for navigation purposes. It enhances better navigation for the pilot. So this is the second feature that the pilot will have through these instruments that we can see. And then there will be something called radio altimeter or radalt, as it is also known, basically to give the exact distance between the aircraft and the ground. It is a near real-time distance between the aircraft and the ground. This helps prevent accidents. Next is the identification of friend or foe. So this is another very important feature, because as the aircraft density increases, the airspaces get congested. It is very important to identify whether the aircraft is a friend or a foe. So this identification of a friend and foe is with the help of radars at the ground station, and plus the codes that are sent by the pilot and the aircraft. And lastly, the integrated standby instrument system, which means that in case one set of instruments fail, you have another set of instruments as an overlay. As you can see in this cockpit, you have both digital and analog instruments available. So basically it's an overlay.
Earlier this month, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated the second production line of HTT-40 at HAL's NavIC facility, alongside the third production line for the LCA Tejas Mark I Alpha. He had flagged off the first Tejas Mark I Alpha from this line, and he urged the HAL to aim higher in the global race for next generation aircraft, unmanned systems and civil aviation. India must always stay ahead in this new race and not lag behind. The minister called HAL the backbone of India's defense sector, appreciating its role in realizing the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat in aerospace. With HTT-40 now cleared for production and the IAF ready to induct it, India has taken another step towards self-sufficiency in pilot training. From design board to runway, this aircraft symbolizes the rise of indigenous innovation and the confidence of Indian industry.
The HTT-40 is more than a trainer. It's a symbol of India's flight towards self-reliance. As the next generation of air warriors takes to the skies, they will do so on wings made in India. Big news came from the DRDO. The indigenous male UAV Archer NG has completed its maiden test flight, marking a major step in India's push for autonomous combat drones.
DRDO's Aeronautical Development Establishment ADE has flown the Archer NG, or the Archer New Generation, a medium altitude, long endurance unmanned aerial vehicle developed as an evolution of India's homegrown drone programs. The single engine platform lifted off following successful ground and high speed taxi trials, clearing a key milestone in structural, engine and flight control validation. According to release specifications, Archer NG targets mail performance, endurance measured in tens of hours and payload capacity in hundreds of kilograms, enabling persistent surveillance and an eventual weaponized role. This flight validates the platform's architecture and avionics. Next stage is to expand the envelope trials and payload integration for multi-mission roles. ADE has also showcased a unified ground control station to operate Archer variants and other mail systems, a force multiplier for coordinated surveillance and strike missions. With the maiden flight complete, Archer NG moves in an intensive test campaign, a step that brings India closer to an indigenous combat-capable male UAV fleet.
Now let's talk about the Archer New Generation armed drone that has been tested. This is the image of this Archer drone, and you can see these are two anti-tank guided missiles that have been fitted during the trials. This photograph must have been taken. So this image has got 2 weapon systems already on board. As per the official website of the DRDO, they have declared that it can achieve an altitude of up to 22,000 feet. It has got an endurance of about 12 hours and it has got a range of 220 kilometers. So basically it means that this aircraft can target targets which have got operational and strategic significance. Important milestone, but testing and integration still remains. We'll follow the Archer NG through weapons trials and service evaluation. Do keep watching Defense Dynamics for updates on this incredible weapon system that is being tested. The Durand line is bleeding again. What began as cross-border skirmishes has escalated into one of the most intense confrontations between Pakistan and Afghanistan since the Taliban's return to power in year 2021. With airstrikes near Kabul and retaliatory Taliban assaults on Pakistani posts and over 250 reported casualties, this isn't just a border flare-up, it's a geopolitical tremor. So what is driving the conflict? TTP nexus, that is Pakistan accuses Kabul of sheltering Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan militants. The Taliban denies it, but Islamabad's strike suggests deep mistrust. Secondly, Durand line dispute. The centuries-old border remains unrecognized by Kabul, and the fencing efforts by Pakistan have only inflamed the Pashtun resentment. And finally, the strategic breakdown. Islamabad once saw Taliban's rise as a strategic win. Today, it's grappling with a hostile western frontier and resurgent TTP. So what are the regional implications? For India, it's an opening. With Pakistan losing influence over Kabul, India has a chance to rebuild ties with Afghanistan both diplomatically and economically. Then we have China's dilemma. The conflict threatens China-Pakistan economic corridor and Beijing's Belt and Road ambition, and instability near Gwadar and Kabul is a bad news for Chinese logistics. Then thereafter, we have great power moves. Russia's recognition of Taliban and US interest in Bagram Air Base signals renewed strategic competition in South Central Asia. So the question arises that what is the strategic takeaway? This isn't about border posts and airstrikes. It's about collapse of old assumptions. Pakistan's strategic depth doctrine is unraveling. Afghanistan is asserting independence, even strengthening ties with India, much to Islamabad's ear. And as both sides dig in, the terrorist group like ISKP and TTP are poised to exploit this chaos. So now what are we supposed to watch? Firstly, will Pakistan risk two-front conflict with India and Afghanistan? Secondly, can regional players like Turkey and Qatar mediate a durable ceasefire? And thirdly, will India recalibrate its Afghan outreach amid shifting fault lines? That's all for this week on Defense Dynamics. Do share your thoughts on social media with #DD with Danvi. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.